All right, here we go. Let's try this one more time. Welcome to the Daily Dose. Mark Avens here to give you a dose of encouragement. This is episode number 63. I got a little you can tell the humidity's out. The mosquitoes are already attacking me. So happy Sunday. We're going to talk about comparison and why you should compare yourself to others. I'm going to tell you, you should compare yourself to others. And I think I've probably come on here and shared that you shouldn't compare yourself to others. Today, I'm going to say it's not necessarily a bad thing. And while you're coming on, if you catch this live, had a little technical difficulties, we should be good to go now. Welcome to another Sunday. Maybe right now you're comparing yourself to last Sunday. Maybe you're comparing your week to last week. Maybe you're thinking about your week ahead and comparing that. Maybe you're comparing to where you feel you're at. Maybe you're comparing yourself to how bald you are or not. Maybe you're comparing yourself to how much facial hair you have. Maybe you're comparing how much you have in your bank account. Maybe you're comparing your life to others. Maybe you're comparing the craziness that's going on in our world right now and that you want nothing to do with it. Maybe you're comparing your children's direction in their life, whether they're younger, older, going to college, just getting out of bed. Maybe you're comparing your church, maybe you're comparing this, comparing that, right? I think it's inevitable, and we can all just say it's safe to say that we compare. It's part of being human, right? I think just from the starting point, Adam and Eve, what did they do when they saw each other? They were comparing, right? That's just what we do. And of course, comparison, what is it? Is it Theodore Roosevelt who said comparison is the thief of joy? And while I can understand that concept, I don't actually necessarily feel that is truly the thief of joy. It can be when you start comparing and then bringing yourself down and thinking you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not wealthy enough. But there's also a comparison that can be a driving force. So my question to you is, what are you comparing yourself with? And are you comparing yourself with how you used to be? Are you comparing yourself with where you want to be? Are you comparing yourself and thinking I should be there? Are you comparing yourself and I should be that fit? I should have that kind of body. I should have that kind of looks. I should be that strong. And it's something that I think it's actually what makes the world go round, right? I think we can all agree that comparison is not necessarily, at least for me in my world, it's a driving force. There's a positive. Now, I'm pretty confident in myself, but I would say at the same time is that there's easily ways that I can start to compare myself. Perfect example, and this is not to get into all that's going on in the world, but I know that there's good people in the world and I know that there's bad people in the world, right? At the end of the day, that's just kind of what it is. I know there's people doing good things for others, and I know there's people doing bad things. I know there's people pushing their agendas, and I know there's people just trying to survive life, right? And in everything in between. And as we start to compare, like, oh, well, gosh, that person's that way. Am I like that person? Or that person's doing that thing. Am I like that person? And it can be a really scary thing, especially with the climate, and especially being able to visibly see what's going on and see everything that's happening. But my question is to you, do you measure yourself with others in a positive way, or are you measuring yourself with others in a negative way? And you can go kind of two things. And what I want to give to you, really some practical 3 ways. And I say when I quoted Theodore Roosevelt's, comparison is the thief of joy. What brings you joy? Because I think when you can think of comparison and think of like there's a positive, something, a pushing force, a driving force for me in my world, for people to come in, and for you, it's looking at like, okay, well, I'm watching Mark now. He's an online coach. He helps people get healthier, and I see people, I see testimonies, and I see success stories, and I see people that are losing weight and that, and when you're comparing it, like, is that a driving force? I think it is. I think there's a lot of people. In fact, I think my entire business has been driven from other people seeing success, and that drives them to want to do better and be better. I was in a mastermind group of about 120 people over the past couple of days, and there's a driving force, not in a comparison negative way, because I wouldn't be in there, in a positive way, saying, look at the potential for my life. So my question to you is, are you using this comparison as a positive thing in your life, or a negative? Are you saying, gosh, I'll never be that fit, I'll never have that weight off, I'll never be able to make that kind of money? And so here's the thing I want to share with you is 3 ways. I wrote them down, of course. I have to write things down, I'm older and forgetful. But I wrote some things down and just started making my mind like, what are the things that bring me joy and joy in my life? And I wanted to give you 3 practical things that can help you with your joy. One of the biggest things for me in coming into my faith is just remembering prayers and answered prayers. So things that bring me joy, that allow me, in looking at like comparing where my life is now to comparing where I was before in a positive way. And I think of like the unexpected blessings that have come into my world and into my life, and I've shared many of them with you. I just wanted to say, number one is really like, for me, things to keep my joy intact is remembering the blessings that are in my life. I have another day right now to make a difference in my life and other people's lives, and remembering that there's been prayers that have been really answered prayers in the past. So kind of reflecting on past. That's number one. Number 2, doing something that you like, that brings you joy, something that's enjoyable to you. When the world tries to steal that from you, right? The world really tries to steal our joy. When maybe something's going well in your life and you look on the news, and then your joy just pretty much fizzles away because you look at all the doom and gloom and destruction out there. And don't get me wrong, it's there, it's been there. Doom and gloom and destruction and terrible things, and good people doing good things, but we tend to get strayed towards the bad things, and I would say that's going to steal your joy. So do something that brings you joy. Chances are you might need to avoid looking and watching and paying attention to all of the destruction that's going on, because the reality is, at least from what I've seen and what I've been taught, and you can look back at history, there's just bad people in the world. Unfortunately, that's just the case. But you can also start to compare and start to allow that to steal your joy and be like, oh, I'm better than that, or that's this and this and that. I'm not saying to be ignorant about it, but just to know that it could totally steal your joy. So that's number 2, is do something that really brings you joy. And I know I can tell right now there's a lot of people, and it may be you, that your joy is being stolen from you because you're focused on all of the things that are just evil things out there. And so that's number 2. Number 3, do something. Here's one of the biggest things for me, is do something in service to others. Serve others. Like, do something, instead of focus on the negative, focus on what's going wrong in the world. Do something good. One of the things I've learned in my past is, when you have a problem with something, and I'm not talking about protesting and this and that. I'm just saying, go serve others, go love on others, go and do something kind for your neighbor, do something that maybe is an unexpected thing that you can do. It doesn't have to be related to what's going on wrong in the world right now. It can just be out of the goodness of your heart, and that will bring more joy to you. When you start to fill your cup, you start to feel the joy. Now listen, here's the thing, comparison truly can be the thief of joy, but it can actually be the source of joy. Because what happens is, when I've seen, now back to those 3 things that have kept joy in my world, and I think 3 ways that you can keep joy in yours is remembering times and prayers that were answered. I've seen other lives that were changed from answered prayers. I see there's been unexpected blessings in other people's lives. When I came into my faith, it was one of the things that I found and saw is other people being blessed. God was blessing them in amazing ways. And it was something I was comparing. I was like, I want that. Like, I want to be blessed that way. And doing something that also brings you joy, that you see people focused on, that are keeping positive and encouraged instead of being discouraged and negative, is like, that was attractive to me. There's a good comparison that goes there. And then number 3, doing something in service. When I see people, what even brings me a lot of joy is when I see others serving others and bringing joy into other people's lives. And that truly is really, I think, 3 positive ways. So here's the thing. That comparison doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing, because we can say, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not fit enough, I'm not, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not rich enough, those types of things. And that can truly steal your joy. But comparison can be actually used as fuel. It can actually you can use the comparison to fuel yourself to be better. Like, my entire world in the last 25 years of working with people is in encouraging them and putting them on a path to do better. Well, how are they going to do better? They don't know what better looks like. So there's a comparison. Hey, look. Hey, you can lose 50 pounds. Look at Mrs. Smith, who lost 50 pounds. And look at Mr. Johnson, who who was able to get stronger. And look, he couldn't do one pull-up, and now he can do 20 pull-ups. And look at Mr. Jones over there, who couldn't fit in his business clothes, and he had to only shop in the big and tall. And guess what? Look at him over there now. He's able to do that. That's a good fueled comparison. And I'm not saying this is all just physicalness, because it also can be a confidence. Look at Chelsea over there, and check her out. And I don't know where these names are coming from. Look at Chelsea, who, said she hated the way she looked and felt, didn't want to look in the mirror in the morning. And now, not only is she confident in herself that she was able to start a family, she has a relationship now, she got married, she feels that confidence, and now landed herself an amazing husband. Like, those are the things, again, that joy can bring. And comparison doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can be actually a positive thing. So let me ask you this question. Are you comparing yourself to others in a positive way, or are you using that to fuel yourself, or are you using that in a negative way? That's my question to you. The encouragement to this is that you can use in comparison to others. Here, look, I'm a 47-year-old husband and father, and I'm in decent shape, right? Use me to compare me physically, and as far as that, not like how I look, whether I'm good looking or not, just that I'm in good shape. There's a lot of people I know that will be watching, you might be one of them, that are not in good shape. You're not healthy, you're overweight, you're inactive, you eat like crap, you put crap in your body, and you're in terrible shape. You're not going down a road that's going to be favorable for you, whether it's the next year or the next 5 years or the next 10 years. Compare yourself to me and saying, you know what, we were told the other day, my wife and I were over at a neighbor's house, and there were some younger people in their 30s, and they were like, how old are your kids? 17? Going to be 17 and 15? We felt so good about ourselves. I was like, oh, honey, can I just buy you a drink? Like, we were excited because they had no idea. They thought we were in our 30s, like early 30s. And I was like, oh, well, maybe not early 30s. Okay, I'm stretching a truth there. But I would say is it definitely felt good. And you know what? There was work that went into it. And you know what? How did I pursue getting better? As I looked at, there's people that are older than me in their 50s, and there's people in their 60s, and they're in great shape, and they're healthy, and they're strong, and they're confident. And I was like, that's attractive to me. So I don't know what that looks like for you, and I don't know where you stand. But I would say is if you're using comparison to steal joy from you rather than to drive you to more joy, maybe today could be the day that you think about what truly driving joy in your life. And the 3 things that I told you, 3 things that can help you, is first, remembering that prayers and answered prayers that have already happened in your life, whether you have faith or not, there's probably some things that you've gone through in your life that have been answered for you, that you're like, gosh, I'm really glad I'm not where I was before. I'm really glad that I got through that. And whether you feel God got you through it or you got through it, it's still, they're unexpected blessings that have come, and chances are you've experienced those. The other thing is doing something that you enjoy doing, right? Here's the thing, you want to have joy in your life, you actually have to pursue doing and finding and going after the things that bring joy in your life. And then also, I think one of the most important things and the biggest things is serving others. Look, I've pledged to come on here, and again, whether you enjoy this or not, and if you do, I ask you to like it, thumbs up, share it with somebody. Feel free, tell a friend about it when you're having coffee out to a restaurant. Hey, I listen to this guy, and he's a little bit long-winded sometimes, but he's very passionate about what he does. And truly, that's all this Daily Dose is, just to encourage. I know if I can just encourage one person, whether you watch me for 2 minutes or 20 minutes, that it's a winner for me. Serving others. I want to be of service to others. I have a mission, and I'm on a pursuit to help 1,000 people in 2020. That is my driven goal. I'm on the path to do that. And if you're one of them, thank you. It's a service to others. And you know what? That brings me joy. It's not about whether or not you come into my coaching program, you spend money, you invest in yourself, and you invest in me. It's beyond that. It's truly just the service that I can provide. And you probably have the same kind of service to others. You may not even know right now. You have probably some amazing gifts that you can do, whether it's coming on a live or talking to a neighbor or doing something, in your neighborhood, or you're with your family and your friends at your workplace. And chances are you probably can be of service to others. And if you've experienced that, you know that truly brings you joy as well. So listen, that's all I have, the Daily Dose, 8 a.m. here. Come on. Meet me tomorrow. It's going to be a brand new week. I'm going to come on live probably at least one more time a day. In fact, if you want to receive notifications, I think somewhere right in there you can actually click on to receive notifications and catch me in my next live so you don't miss out and have to catch it on the replay. Take care and have a blessed day. We'll see you.